Hey there guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So just few days back we had the release of the Deepseek R1 model, and yet again we have a release of another Chinese reasoning model, and it is the QwQ 32 billion reasoning model from Qwen. So as you can see, the API pricing of this model is also mentioned, and just so we can compare how cheap this model is, let's see the pricing of the OpenAI reasoning model, shall we? So you can see this is the O1 mini model. Let me just open up the preview model as well, why not? So let's see the preview model first. So as you can see, it is $15 per million input tokens and $60 per million output tokens, whereas O1 mini has somewhat realistic prices, that is $3 for 1 million input tokens and $12 for 1 million output tokens. Now compare this to Qwen. As you can see, it is 15 cents per million input tokens and 60 cents per million output tokens. So it is way cheaper compared to all other models, and I think this is the first model other than the OpenAI reasoning models that is available through APIs, because I don't think we have access to the DeepSeek R1 model through API. Okay, so keeping all of that aside, we have the four reasoning models over here: the O1 preview at the top right corner, O1 mini, DeepSeek R1 here, and the Qwen 32 billion preview model. Let's test these models on our questions and let's see how do these models compare to the OpenAI models. Let's get started. Okay guys, so let's move on to the first question. How many R's in strawberry, snowberry and raspberry? So let's send this to all four models and let's see what response do we get. Okay, we might have to retry on the O1 preview. It might be because we are sending messages to two models once, so that could be the issue, but no worries. So we have already got a response from the DeepSeek model and it says there are 7 hours. Okay, DeepSeek model says there are 7 hours. Qwen 32 billion preview model says there are 9 hours. O1 preview gives us the right answer, that is 8, and so does the O1 mini model. So let's do one thing, let's give it one more try. Let's try this again. Let's start up a new chat on DeepSeek and let's try this again, and we'll do the same with the Qwen 32 billion model as well. Let's try with the O1 mini as well. So okay, so O1 preview model gives us a wrong answer, that is 7. So I think this is the first time when I'm getting a wrong answer from O1 preview. So now let's see the O1 mini. Okay, O1 mini gets it wrong as well, it's 7. And now the DeepSeek model gets it right, that is 8 hours, and the Qwen 32 billion preview model gets it wrong, that is 7. Okay, so what can we say? I think all the models have failed, and if we compare them, these three models at least got the answer once, but Qwen was wrong both of the times. So comparatively it was a lose for the Qwen model. Let's move on to the next question. Okay, so the next question is a max question, more specifically on the geometry side. So the question is, three vertical line segments are equally spaced and they divide only the diameter into four equal parts. What percentage is the area of the last chord compared to the whole circle? So let's send this to all the models. Let's see what response do we get. Okay, so let's retry. I don't know why we are getting these errors in the ChatGPT website. Nevertheless, let's try this with the O1 mini as well. So DeepSeek model is still thinking. All the models are doing their chain of thought or thinking. Okay, we have an answer from the O1 mini model and it's the correct answer, that is 19.6%. Absolutely right. So I think we have got a response from O1 mini, and let's see about the DeepSeek model. It's still thinking and so is O1 preview. Okay, so O1 preview has done thinking and it is just printing out the answer. Whereas I can't differentiate the thinking and response in the Qwen model. Maybe this is because we are using an API. But seeing these two open source models, the lines between chain of thought and the reasoning that O1 models do seems to be blurring out. Nevertheless, we have an answer from O1 preview and it is 19.575. We get the same answer from the DeepSeek model as well, that is 19.57. And Qwen, I think it is out of its output token. So let's hit continue and let's wait for it to, yeah, so it got 19.54, pretty close, but I think it's a wrong answer compared to, these answers are absolutely spot on. So again, this square model gets this wrong. So let's move on to the next question. Okay, so we have yet another max question. So this is kind of a very long problem solving question. The question is, I have an initial balance of $100,000 and I earn $15,000 per month for every $100,000 increase in my balance. As my balance grows, my earnings increase in steps. Specifically, each time my balance increases by $100,000, my monthly earnings increase by $15,000. For example, with a balance of 100,000, I earn 15,000 per month. Once my balance reaches 2,000, I start earning 30,000 per month. So I have explained all of those things and I have asked how much will I have after 3 years, that is 36 months. So you'd have to, do a very long calculation, which we humans can absolutely do. So not a very hard question for us humans, but surely a hard question for these models. So again, we get this error with the open preview model, no issues. And now we'll start the response with the open mini. Okay, so we have to try again here as well. Okay, we'll do that. So all the models are thinking. So the correct answer is 9,475,000. So Oven Preview has done thinking for 32 seconds, and so has Oven Mini for 27 seconds. So it has got the answer as 1,945,000, which is wrong. Let's check Oven Mini. Oven Mini gets it right. 9,475,000. Nice. So this is what happens actually. In my previous video, I did mention that when it comes to factuality and reliability, these models suffer, giving you a consistent answer. You can check my video on Can You Trust LLMs, where I have actually given few other examples about this scenario, and yet again you see this happening in front of your eyes. So okay, so Deepseek has thought for, let's see, okay, 85 seconds, and the answer is 2,440,000 wrong. Okay, so Oven Preview is actually failing a lot today. I didn't expect that. So Qwen model is still thinking, and I have in my personal testing as well, I have seen that this model generates a lot of thinking tokens. I mean, but even after that, it doesn't hit your bank balance too hard because I have been testing and I don't think I have used $1 or something. As you can see, all these questions, I actually asked this Quen model only. So okay, let's wait for it to complete. Okay, so finally we have a response from the Quen model, and it is 8,245,000. Not correct, but I think it is the closest compared to Open Preview and Deepseek answer. And of course, OpenMini got it spot on. So you saw how the results varied, but you don't have to worry because when we are testing these models, we keep the questions hard. But realistically, you can mention that count month by month. You can actually mention the process that it should follow. But since we are testing these models, we can't make the questions easy. So this is the result that we have got. Let's move on to the next question. Okay, so moving on to the seating arrangement question. So this is the hardest question in our test, and we have yet to find a model that is able to solve this. So some people have actually pointed out that this question doesn't completely specify all the conditions. So I have actually modified it so that it becomes easy for us to actually see the model is getting the question or not. So the question goes: eight friends A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and H are to be seated around a square table. The seats are numbered 1 to 8 in a clockwise direction. Those in seats 1, 3, 5, and 7, which are the corner seats, face the center of the table. Those in seats 2, 4, 6, and 8, the middle seats, face outwards. G is already seated at seat 1. The seating arrangements must also satisfy the following conditions. So these are the conditions, and below we have mentioned some extra conditions which were not there in the previous question. So the added conditions are: two seating arrangements are considered distinct only if at least one person has a different person sitting immediately to their left or right compared to the first arrangement. So the relative positions of the people sitting in the seating arrangement has to change. We can't just rotate it. We have especially specified this, and then we ask the model, based on this, how many distinct seating arrangements are possible. For each possible number of seating arrangements, list the position of each friend in the arrangement, starting from seat 1 and proceeding clockwise to seat 8. So not only it has to give us the answer, but also tell the seating arrangement where each friend is sitting. Okay, so enough talk. Let's send these to the model. So I don't have very high hopes, but let's see. Let's give it one more try on the Quen model. Okay, so Oven Preview is thinking. Let's also send this to the Oven Mini model. So all the four models are thinking. I don't know how many tokens the Quen model will take for this question. How many times will I have to say continue? Okay, so the Oven Mini has done. So the response from Oven Mini says that there are three possible seating arrangements, which is wrong. There are two. The Deepseek model says there are one, which is wrong. And the Oven Preview model says there are two, and it also mentions the seating arrangement. We'll check this out. And so the Quen model has given us the answer that is two, but has not mentioned the seating arrangements. So let's ask it to mention it. Okay, so let's check the seating arrangement. We'll check the first arrangement of Oven Preview. So G E C A H P D F. So it's right, but I think the numbering is in anti-clockwise direction. No issues. Should have been in clockwise, but no issues. Let's check the second arrangement. GHCAEBTF. Okay, so Oven Preview got it right. So I think this was the first time when Oven Preview actually got it right. So in the whole test it performed very bad, but here it absolutely nailed it. And I think we made the question a bit more clear. So I think that's the reason it got it right. So other than that, we have Qwen also. So once we asked it to mention the seating arrangement, it has come up with the answers, and let's see. Okay, so it says G and then B. Okay, so G and B can't come together, so that's a wrong answer. Okay, so after checking the seating arrangement from the Qwen model, I can say that the answer is very nice, because it actually gets the core logic that in both arrangements G, B, D, F and A are fixed and based on the conditions, while E and H switch places in seats 3 and 6 between the two arrangements. This satisfies all the given conditions. So it actually understands that we get these two conditions by switching E and H. But the problem is it just gets this condition wrong, which is this condition: F sits to the immediate right of D. So F has to be in the right side of D, which this model gets it wrong and which causes it to fail. But I have to say that it was a very good reasoning compared to, I think, this answer of just one seating arrangement and this answer from Oven Mini of three seating arrangements. But even in this three seating arrangements, let's see how many it has got right actually. Okay, so the arrangement is GED. So it's a wrong answer, first option. Let's see the second option, GHT. So even this one is wrong. Let's check the third one. So GBH. Okay, so even this one is wrong. So all the three options from the Oven Mini is wrong. Okay, so Oven Preview was the only model up until this date which has got this question right. Okay, so interesting results. Let's move on to the next question. Okay, so if you are enjoying this video up until this point, do like this video. That will help this channel a lot. Okay, so this next question is meant to see how imaginative these models are. So why I have included this question into my testing, because when I asked this question to Open Preview and 3.5 Sonnet, then so the results were absolutely shocking. And when I asked a question on my YouTube post showing the output of these two models, which output was from which model, so everyone got it wrong, including me. So that's the reason I think including this will be very nice. So let's see what output do we get. Let's send this to all the models. Okay, so we have that error from Open Preview. Let's try this once again. So the other models are giving us the output. Okay, so let's send this to the Oven Mini as well. Okay, so the Deepseek model has done generating the code, and I think so does Oven Mini and Qwen model as well. While Oven Previews, okay, so Oven Preview has also come up with the code. Let's test this one by one. I have set up my Windsurf code editor. So if you don't know, I have been using Windsurf code editor for many of my projects, and I have used the Cascade agent to chat with the code, and this agentic framework works automatically. And I've actually made a video showing where I've built the homepage of Apple website just by chatting and not even looking the code for once. So you can check that video in my channel. I'll be linking in the end credits. So let's move on. Let's paste the code. Okay, so it's a pretty big code. Let's save this and let's see the output. Okay, I don't know if anyone would consider this as a unicorn. I think DeepSeek thinks that this is a unicorn. So it's a fail from the DeepSeek model. So now let's move on to the Qwen model. Let's copy the code. Okay, so it has given us the HTML, CSS all differently. We'll have to mention that, give us in a single code. Okay. Meanwhile, we can move on with the Oven Mini and Oven Preview's response. So let's paste the Oven Mini's code and let's see. Okay. Okay, so looks like a unicorn to me. I don't know if someone would consider this as beautiful or not, but I think vaguely it does have some kind of a shape or form. Let's move on to the Oven Previews response. Let's paste this and let's save. Okay, so this is the output which we have got from the Oven Preview. So it has a face, I guess, and I don't know what this is. I think it's the horn, but I think it's kind of vaguely okay. But let's move on to the Qwen's response. Okay, so it says that it can't give us the single code, but then it actually combines them. So let's copy this code and let's see what do we get from the Qwen model. Okay, looks like a long code. Will it be worth it? Let's see. Okay, so again we get a circle. I think for these Chinese models, I think for both of these smaller models, unicorn means a circle. So I'll be showing you all those four unicorns over here, and you tell me which is the best and which is the absolute worst. I think you'll be having hard time deciding between these two circles. So what can we say finally? So I think today Oven Mini actually performed very well when it comes to the geometry question or the earnings question or the strawberry question. It got most of them right. Talking about the Quen model, its performance was not on par with the other three models, but at the last, when it came to spatial reasoning, its performance was better than the O1 Mini or the DeepSeek model. And we actually saw, and you saw that it also, identified that we get the two seating arrangements by, switching the E and H position, but it got the position of F wrong, so that actually caused it to fail. And one thing that was absolutely shocking is that we actually got a right answer for the seating arrangement question from the O1 preview model. The correct number of seating arrangements, that is 2, and also the correct position for each of the members. So this just shows that the other reasoning models are trying their best and do perform good given their size. And the Qwen model's pricing is absolutely cheap compared to the pricing of O1 Mini as well, and forget about O1 preview. And we also saw that actually O1 Mini is useful in many cases. So what were your conclusions from this comparison? Do tell me down in the comment section. If you have any questions that we can add to this test, do also mention that in the comments, and I'll see you guys in the next one.